Well, everybody out there who is a big Hawkgirl fan or a big Birds of Prey fan, you might finally be getting your wish for that team to be viable. We're going to talk about it in this video. This is going to be my updated Whaler Skip video for Hawkgirl because she just got a massive rework and she potentially is vaulting up to the very top of our tier list for champions in the game. Let's jump over to her section of the champion pages and we'll take a look. So Hawkgirl is going to be a Birds of Prey champion. She's also going to have the Justice League tag. So definitely some optionality there for some different team building and tag synergies. We'll talk about each of those in turn, and the first one is going to be Birds of Prey. If you deploy Birds of Prey champions, you will increase their life steal by a certain percentage, and that's actually pretty helpful for survivability. Justice League champions, if you deploy those, it's going to increase their attack and HP percentages. And then Weapon Master will increase those champions' attack percentages. So pretty decent amount to work with there. Hawkgirl is a warrior champion. So, we kind of expected her when her kit first came out that she was going to do a ton of damage. And actually, the Thanagarian Mace had crit damage on it, I believe. And then they did some kind of a couple of small adjustments to her kit. And it was just hilarious that like she already wasn't that great. And then they made her even worse. And they made her legacy piece completely unusable. Well, they just turned the game on its head when it comes to this particular champion, and she is now going to be 100% usable, and her legacy piece is also going to be 100% recommended if you're going to be using this character. And this is something that I've talked about on my podcast with Unstable Gamer recently, and also talked with several people in the community about it. They really are trying to make it where these legacy pieces, you have to buy them for the champion they're intended for. And, I think that's actually potentially a good thing because it just gives you the ability to decide, which ones you want to go after and that sort of thing. But let's go through Hawkgirl's kit, and we're going to have to do that from the graphic that I specifically created for this kit change video. So let's jump over to that graphic now. All right, so as with the Martian Manhunter video that I recently put out, this is going to be hard to read on the video, so I do apologize for that. But you can go download the full graphic on my Discord server as well as the official Discord server in the Guru Guides section if you want to have that for a reference. It makes it a lot easier to kind of see what they changed for each one of these, to have them compared side by side rather than having to, take some screenshots in the game if you were even able to do that. And then, take a look at the new things that are in the game. A shout out to my fellow content creators. There's several other people who've put out way better graphics than this, but I just wanted to have something for the community to access. So, definitely take a look at mine, take a look at some of the stuff that other people put out as well. But I hope you'll find this helpful. So I'm going to go through the kit changes line item by line item, if you can bear with me for that. And so I'll read those out loud and we'll kind of talk about the changes. As opposed to Martian Manhunter, where there were some similarities to the before and after, this one is significantly different. So pretty much everything about the kit is changed now. So Hawkgirl's ultimate ability is called Dive Bomb. Previously, what would happen is she would deal physical damage between 400 and 800% of her attack as an AoE. She would also gain super armor and recover HP equal to 20% of the damage dealt. And then super armor would prevent actions or skills from being interrupted by enemy attacks, which can be super healthy or helpful, I should say. But the new Dive Bomb ultimate ability, she's going to deal physical damage equal to between 700 and 1500% of her attack. That is not a typo, as an AoE. So they doubled the amount of damage that she can effectively do. It's also going to grant 2 stacks of a new thing called Nth Metal Aegis for 15 seconds. Nth Metal Aegis will absorb spiritual damage from enemy skills and ultimates. Each stack can absorb damage up to between 30 and 60% of Hawkgirl's max HP. If a stack is broken, any excess damage from that hit cannot be absorbed again. I think that's really just saying that, like, if a damage dealing ability comes through and goes over the maximum amount that she can absorb, she's not going to be able to like get another Nth Metal Aegis to be able to absorb that. But still, she's going to be soaking up a ton of incoming damage from the Nth Metal Aegis, and this is spiritual damage, so it's going to stop a lot of champions like Sinestro, Constantine, Death Metal Batman even in their tracks because of this. So Hurricane Force is going to be the first basic skill for Hawkgirl. Previously, she would deal physical damage between 200 and 400% of her attack as an AoE, and then pull enemies in close to her, kind of tank them, and it really acted also as kind of like an incapacitation ability. The new Hurricane Force, she'll deal physical damage equal to 400 to 900% of her attack as an AoE. So again, effectively a doubling of the attack that she was doing on this ability. And then it also grants one stack of Nth Metal Aegis, so another way to add additional stacks to that list. And that one would basically do effectively the same thing as the other stacks. Nth Degree is going to be the second basic skill for Hawkgirl. And this one is, she previously would deal physical damage between 260 and 500% of her attack as an AoE. They've removed the damage dealing piece of this, but they replaced it by increasing Hawkgirl's spiritual resistance between 18 and 50%. So she's going to take a lot less damage herself. And then whenever Hawkgirl gains Nth Metal Aegis from her ultimate or her first basic skill, she will immediately restore between 8 and 20% of her max HP. So she's going to be able to heal herself and self-sustain, kind of similar to Bane, I think. So definitely a great change there. And then we have Energy Absorption, and this is going to be her third basic attack ability. So at the start of the battle, she used to gain a shield equal to 6 to 10% of her max HP for each Birds of Prey ally, up to a maximum of 30 to 50% max HP. And then when she cast her ultimate, she would gain a shield between 10 and 30% of max HP. The new version of this will just increase Hawkgirl's max HP between 10 and 30%. And then at the start of the battle, each Birds of Prey or Justice League ally present is going to increase Hawkgirl's max HP by an additional 4 to 12%. So I want to go through Hawkgirl's Multiversal Force talent enhancements for the basic skills really quickly. And the first one is not going to change from my understanding. So Hurricane Force, basically investing in this Multiversal Force talent will reduce the cooldown of Hurricane Force by somewhere between, I guess, 0.6 and 2 seconds. Not sure the high end range of that, but that is going to stay the same. And then Nth Degree Enhanced, it used to reduce the cooldown of that ability between 0.6 and 3 seconds. The new version of that will increase Hawkgirl's attack by 2.5 to 12.5%, which is a significant change and is going to definitely ramp her damage dealing ability up. And then we have Energy Absorption Enhanced. That previously would increase Hawkgirl's crit rate between 2 and 10%. The new version of Energy Absorption Enhanced will increase Hawkgirl's max HP by 2.5 to 12.5%. So it's going to make her stronger. Crit's going to not be a super important thing for Hawkgirl, I guess, going forward, but she's probably not going to need it. And then finally, talking about her legacy piece. So the legacy piece, as with any of these Mythic Plus legacy pieces, is going to have 2 skills on it. One skill is going to be exclusive to Hawkgirl. The other one, if you equipped it to someone else, that person could use it. So nth level is going to be the legacy piece skill that's exclusive to Hawkgirl. Previously, what that one would do, it would increase Hawkgirl's AoE damage by 15 to 50%. And then when she cast her ult, her attack would be increased between 25 and 100% for 8 seconds. The way they changed it is it now increases Hawkgirl's physical damage dealt by between 15 and 80%. And at the start of the battle, all allies gain 1 stack of nth metal Aegis, and each stack can absorb spiritual damage up to 10 to 40% of Hawkgirl's max HP. So it's a little bit of a different, does the same thing, but this stack of nth metal Aegis is a little bit different from the ones that Hawkgirl can grant herself from her ultimate in first basic. And lastly, we have Emergency Shield, and this is the ability that anyone can get access to if they equip the Thanagarian Mace. And what it used to do is at the start of the battle, the wearer's HP would be increased by between 10 and 35%. And then when HP would drop below 50% for the first time, the wearer would gain a shield equal to 15 to 50% of max HP for 20 seconds. What it does now is it will increase the wearer's spiritual defense by between 25 and 80%. So significant spiritual defense, spiritual protection from Hawkgirl. And then when hit by an enemy basic attack, the wearer's attack is permanently increased by between 1.5 and 5%, and that stacks for up to 15 seconds. At least that's what I was given here. So I'm trying to figure out how to read that, and obviously we'll see with the official changes that come in the game. They'll probably already be out there by the time you watch this video, so go take a look at that. But I believe what it's saying is that you can the wearer's attack is permanently increased by that percentage, and potentially for the first 15 seconds of the battle it will stack that up, and then it stops stacking after that. Curious to see what you guys think. Obviously once this video is out, the kits should already be out there, so let me know what you think about this, or maybe we'll have a better description for that. So pop that down in the comments, and if someone can give me an exact answer post the kits being published and the legacy piece being updated, then I'll definitely pin that comment so that people are aware of it. So be on the lookout for that. But that is it for the kit changes for Hawkgirl and kind of what we're going to have going forward with the champion. So we'll jump back over to her kit or champion page and talk a little bit more here. We kind of went through all of the changes for the multiversal force talents. We'll talk about the global skill for Hawkgirl. It's going to increase all champions' HP by a percentage, with an additional percentage for warrior champions. Not too bad. And then we'll jump over to the force page for Hawkgirl. And I've already talked about the 3 main multiversal force talents that she's going to have. I think, assuming that they didn't change any of this by the time you're watching this video, I do believe that I'm curious if this crit rate node is going to go away. But if it doesn't, I mean, I still think that, whenever they put these in, it's probably worth getting them. I think dodge is going to be pretty important for her kit. Any champion who's going to be face tanking a lot of damage, you probably want to have some dodge on them. So I would go for that for sure. And then any of the attack nodes are definitely going to be worth investing in for Hawkgirl. As far as gear, you want to be going for either Birds of Prey or Justice League tag synergy gear, level 500 gear for sure. And then obviously anything that's going to ramp up her attack is going to be worth going for. So definitely go for attack gear. Again, I kind of recommend this for a lot of different champions, but energy gain is going to be, pretty important. Anything, physical penetration would probably be worth going for with Hawkgirl as well. So definitely be looking for a few of those whenever you are trying to push your transmutes. And then for legacy pieces, I have not so huge hammer up and running on her right now, but I don't really use her at all. I do think this one, is one that's worth using. It's got the crit damage and attack percentage on it. But, realistically, and Gabriel Horn probably worth using with her for sure. I don't know about some of these others. Prometheum Claws might be worth using if you had to, but really, Thanagarian Mace is going to be the one that you want to go for. And again, this information is not fully accurate. I'm assuming that the attack and HP on the gear effects is going to stay the same. Obviously, I read through the new kits that we're going to be getting for her here, so I won't click into these because it will be outdated information. But definitely, I think Thanagarian Mace is going to be what you want to put on her. Curious to see what other people recommend out there, like what some of the other smarter players than me recommend. There are a couple of different options that you could go for. And that's going to do it for this Hawkgirl Whale or Skip rework video. Let me know in the comments what you think about the new Hawkgirl kit. Are there any teams that you're wanting to build around with her? Obviously, she's going to have some synergy with those Justice League champions. And you could even run her with Martian Manhunter at this point. That is definitely something that you could put together and might make a lot of sense as a spiritual damage counter. I do think it's going to offer a lot of optionality, going forward in the Meta Brawl meta and 3v3. She definitely gets the whale stamp of approval at this point with these new changes to her kit. But you do have to, it is going to be a little bit niche, like kind of what you want to build her for. I think Martian Manhunter is a little bit stronger champion than her, especially if they try to run both of them in a rerun together. So, be on the lookout for that and try to figure out what your team dynamic is or what you want it to be whenever you're making those decisions. Hawkgirl definitely, pretty great champion, at least on paper with these changes. And I'm looking forward to seeing some testing. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You'll get access to notifications when I put out new videos. And if not, I'll still hope to see you on the next video.